Hey folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our comic for today is A Lonely Place of Dying, Part 1 of 5, Issue 440 by DC. Now there is blood, fighting, injuries, being stupid, an investigation, and some mafia sprinkled in this one. So if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, here's our team. I recognize, of course, George Perez here, Mr. Wolfman, and also Mr. Costanza, the letterer. If I remember correctly, I think Mr. Perez drew the interior as well. I just don't remember exactly what it said. You'll see in the picture. Yeah, that's about it. Alright. So I've got this comic from my friend Leor. He brought me a bunch of comics he got in the pack. And I kind of recognized this because I think we had this issue on Cover Slingers. Mr. Gray told me I think Tylax showed this one. And I was like, ooh. That's why it might look familiar. I decided, you know what, I'll read some more Batman. It looks like, when I looked online, this story continues in a Teen Titans comic. I must have been a headache back in the day after, it's not continuing in Batman, I have to go to another one. But anyway, let's get to the story. So our story starts at a bridge. Not bridge. You know where a dam, a water dam. Batman is fighting some guy called Ravage. There's been a lot of happenings in Gotham, as always, I'm sure. There's been a brother and sister rock duo got killed. Before that, brother and sister police duo. Are they brother and sister? Or was it the rock stars? Anyway, two policemen got killed. And also there's been, was it an explosion? So yeah, a lot of the usual murderous shenanigans. We're told as we watch Batman fight Ravage. Now Batman is injured, but he is Batman, so he continues on. And he manages to beat Ravage. He throws him off the dam. Ravage tries to get up with his chain, but doesn't manage. Ravage. Ravage. Sorry. I was just thinking of the other Ravage. But no, this is a different character. Yes, Ravage falls into the dam water, but Batman says, but Batman will see his foe again, so he probably survived that. And we see Batman limping away. Like I said, he is injured. And as he's going, we have the sound effects of a camera, and we see that someone has been watching the fight from afar and has been taking photos. And he says, well, so much for Bruce Wayne. And this guy moves on. So it looks like he's looking for something, and he knows that Batman is Bruce Wayne. Ooh. Anyway, we continue. We go to a different building. It's under renovation, and we see someone sitting inside listening to the radio. At first, it's the radio sounds quite normal, but then the sound changes. And it's almost like it's speaking in a different voice to someone who's sitting in a chair in an office. And it's clear that this someone is crazy. The voice even tells him, you're crazy. So this person, this guy, has been behind what's been happening in Gotham. And he says, and the voice tells him, come on, I know what you want. You want to kill Batman. So he and the voice inside his head start to concoct a new plan. how to kill the Batman. Like, you win 1,000 opportunities to kill the Batman. Something like that. Some messed up shit. And after that's been like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna go tomorrow, talk to this guy, and arrange everything. Now we see Batman in a Batmobile driving towards the Wayne Manor. He goes inside through a clock, a grandfather clock, and Alfred meets him. And then Alfred takes care of his wounds. Poor Bruce is quite suffering from them. He has a high fever. You see Alfred sitting with them the whole night. And then a day later, he's feeling much better. The fever broke. It's thanks to, of course, to Alfred's care. Bruce thanks him. And then Alfred begins, "Sir, this might not be my place." And then he starts talking to him that lately... Now, so you know, this is after Jason Todd's death. I'm not sure how long after, but it's after that. And since then, Bruce hasn't been the same. He hasn't been really thinking with his head, as Alfred says. Because like he told, he would tell Dick, you know, that was before Jason, we need to think with our brains and not with our fists. You know, unlike the criminals. Yeah, and Alfred's telling you, you know, before, you know, I would treat you as a, you know, a stretched ligament, you know, nothing that required that much medical attention, minimal medical attention. But now it's like you don't care, sir. And as it goes, we see photos of him with Jason, newspaper clippings, I think with Jason and also with Dick. And no one knows what happened to Robin. They don't know that he died, but the tabloids seem to suspect that something happens to the Batman, because we see more clippings. And lately, old Batsy's been really brutalizing the criminals, like beating them up extra hard. You know, being not himself exactly. As Alfred tells him, you know, before you used to plan what you were gonna do for as long, you know, just as long as before you start to do it. Oh wait. Before that, you would think of fuck. How do I say this correctly? Train. He tells him before you would plan, you know, the same length of time what you were going to do, and you had the same length of time for actually executing it. But now you seem to just go and just do. That's it. You don't think about it. And then he tells him, "I'm sorry, sir, but I don't think I can, you know, pledge my life to playing nurse. What happens if next time you don't make it?" And Bruce is silent, looking down. It's, you know, he's like leaned on the bed on some pillows. And Alfred's looking down as well, and then he exits the room. We see Bruce get up and go down to the Batcave again. He's shaving himself, putting on his bat costume, and he goes out into the night. Then we see the same guy that was in that room. He's at an opera house. We see a man. Now this man has joined the crime family. He used to have a different name. I think it was Sicilian, maybe. And now his name is Gary Sky, something like that. And he's now in the crime family. And this man approaches him and said, "This is urgent. This is about the payroll." So he tells his wife that he'll be right back. He's there with his wife and kids. And then this guy talks to him and says, you know, get these two, there's like two guys. get them to come to this place, this warehouse, at 2 a.m., and then we will get rid of two problems. We'll get rid of them, and we'll get rid of Batman. And the guy's like, okay, and then this man tells him, alright, now go back to your nice wife. And as he turns back to go to their booth, we see that, I guess the guy's laughing maniacally. Kind of like the Joker. Then we move on to that warehouse. It's 2 a.m., just like the plan. We see Batman sitting there on top of the roof. He has been waiting. Gives us some inner monologue. Forgetting his loneliness. And then we see those two guys approach. They break into the warehouse. They're like, why are we here to steal? And they were supposedly sent there to steal books. And he says, the boss sent us here, we'll steal these books. Then the publisher can ask for insurance. Then they'll sell the books at a lower price at corner stores. They double win the money. So as they're they're loading up the books, so one says, I don't know who even still reads, and then Batman says, you should. Then the taller guy is like, who said that? And then Batman jumps at them, but they have guns. They came prepared. They were told Batman would arrive. So they start shooting at him. Batman manages to take cover behind some books. Boxes of books, I should say. And he's and then he starts to think as he's looking for a way to fight them off. Thinking about what Alfred had told him. How he hasn't been thinking, and that because they mention Ravage. They see Batman and then they yell, I thought Ravage, took care of it. Or something like that. And then his brain starts to make the connections that he didn't see there before. So he starts to think as he fights the shorter, fatter henchman. Thinking about it, about the murders that happened. About the murders, about the bombs, and about where he is now. How is these two henchmen, the name of the street has the number 22 in it. The time is 2 a.m. How the warehouse, the company of the warehouse also means two. The name of it means two in another language. And he's like, how didn't I see it before? What? And then what was it called? The thing you move boxes where you pile them up. That machine. I just don't remember what the name of it is. But he goes into the driver's seat of that, and then he pushes the henchman with it towards the books. And then he's standing there, and the other one goes behind him, but Batman grabs a book, tosses the book at him, and then he punches him. He kicks him with his leg, I think, and he knocks him out. And then he looks at the two of them, and he finally makes the connection. Two-Face is back in town. So the guy we saw in that building that was under renovation, that was Two-Face. So that explains the craziness talking to yourself thing. So Batman's like, why didn't I think of this sooner? Why didn't I make the connection? What was I thinking with? And then again, Alfred's words, he's like, I wasn't thinking. I was acting and reacting. Now he ties the henchman to a pole, leaves a note for Gordon, take care of this. And as this is happening, then we see, was that a bit before that? Because the guy, the one that's been snapping photos of him in the beginning, while this is happening, he's looking for... Wait, let me just make sure this was... Okay, yeah, this was slightly before. So before we get to them entering the warehouse, we see that this guy that's looking for Dick Grayson has arrived at the Teen Titans Tower. And he sees that they're all leaving. He sees Starfire. He knows that Dick Grayson lives with her, but he sees that she leaves alone. He waits, and everyone leaves, and he's like, no way Dick Grayson's still in the tower. So he follows Starfire to her apartment, and he sees that she's carrying out dinner for only one. And he's like, I have to... and for some reason, he has to be back in his hotel by 6. And then he says, I've got to take the risk and talk to her. He says to... Yeah, so there. And the fight happens. Right. Yeah, then he realizes Two-Face. Alright, yeah, that happens afterwards. Alright, and then after the fight, Bruce goes back to... doesn't go back. He goes to see Gordon, asking him about Two-Face. It looks like in the story before this, Bruce helped release Two-Face from being sent to some island or something. He's like, that Two-Face. And like, where is he? And he says, we don't know. We're looking for him. I have more men. I doubled shifts. Not that I think this would help. And he's about to ask Batman something. And he turns and he sees Batman's not there. And he says, for once, I wish he'd say goodbye. I hate talking to myself. Poor Gordon. It's probably a common thing. No, it is a common thing for them. Then we go to the guy again. He knocks on Starfire's door. She's, after a shower, her hair's in a towel. She says, coming. And then she opens the door. We don't see how the guy looks. But he's asking her, where is Dick Grayson? And she's like, well, I can't tell you that. That's, information, Teen Titans information. But she tells him, but Dick Grayson has, she said, not Dick Grayson. She calls him Nightwing. She says, Nightwing has left us several weeks ago. And he's like, oh, I see. And he said, well, I have to go. And she said, wait, maybe one of us can help you with whatever it is you have. And he says, no, I only need Dick Grayson. I only need one Nightwing. He's the only one that can help me. And Starfire says, wait, who are you? How do you know all this? And I guess he runs off. And then we see him, he knows about Dick Grayson's apartment. So he says, well, if he's no longer with the Teen Titans, maybe he's in his old apartment. He is a detective. So he goes to the apartment, but it's empty. I mean, it has stuff, but no Dick Grayson. So he looks on his table for notes and shit. Now I wonder, did he break the lock or did he have a key? So he's like, as a detective, maybe he even has something scribbled somewhere, some note. He looks and then he notices a newspaper article. And this the circus is closing down. One that's been up and running for 60 years. Police cars. Or ambulance, maybe. If you can hear that. Yeah, what was it? There we go. End of Americana Inside. Your local circus to close after 60 years. There it is. Holly Circus. No, that's the one. Haly. Yeah, he finds that newspaper. He sees the article. And it looks like this guy was also attached to that circus because he says no. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Come on. And he says no. So it looks like he also was attached to that circus. And it's like, I can't believe it's closing. And we see, we see the same photo we saw in the beginning when Alfred was talking to Bruce. It's a photo of, I think, Dick Grayson with his parents. And then there's a little, and another couple, and I think on Dick Grayson's lap sits a little boy. Now, I think that little boy is this man now that's looking for Dick Grayson. I'm not sure why he's looking for him, but I suspect it might be that kid. it would explain why he's so devastated by the news that the circus is closing. So as he said, "Oh no," but then he's like, "But now at least I now know where Dick Grayson went." And then we see someone approaching the circus with a bag. With a huge backpack. I'm not sure if that's this guy or if that's us seeing Dick Grayson. Although, granted, he left several weeks ago. He left the Teen Titans, so maybe he left earlier. Maybe he left several weeks ago, and that's from when the news article is from. That's not clear. If that's then Dick Grayson, I mean, if he left several weeks ago, then this is the guy. But if this is a fresh newspaper, then that's Dick Grayson going there. And that's it. That's where the issue ends. Alright, let's get to the art. I can show you quite a bit, because this is really old. I think it's from... It says 1809 inside, but maybe it's... yeah, it's still very old. I really dig this cover. Look at Betsy there on that gargoyle. Hunched. Waiting. It's purple as well. I love purple. And then you have the bat symbol. I see, and that's where the title is. A Lonely Place of Dying. Right, so there we have Ravage. Not my Ravage, though. You see Batsy's fighting him. And then you see this is the guy who snaps the photos. I will say the art style is very good, though. The lettering's a bit hard to read in some places. I had to take a closer look just to understand what letter it was. You see he's got a bike. And then he's driving on the blood stains of Batman's wounds. So it looks like this... so maybe that is in fact that kid. There's Two-Face and his layer. Hey, I get some news. Bruce donated $1 million to an orphanage. So now they can keep working, keep being open indefinitely. You see Alfred's taking care of his wounds. You see Bruce is not doing too well. He has a fever. Alfred's worried. You see the time passes. It's 11 when he helps him. And it's 2 o'clock. Alright, there you see, Alfred's going through all of this, all the photos. And it tells us in an inner monologue how Bruce hasn't been the same since Dick was gone as well. How he seemed happier with Dick Grayson. Total Batman's in the circus. Yeah, I think Dick Grayson left, I think, and then later on Jason Todd became Robin, if I'm not mistaken. And then after that, I think Tim Drake. Oh, this is that photo I was talking about, you see? So there's, that's Grayson's dad. 1 second. Gotta be careful with this one. You see, that I think is Dick Grayson's dad. That's his mom. That's Dick Grayson. You see this little boy here in this couple. So I think that little boy on his lap, or I should say on his knee, might be this kid. It might be this guy who's looking for him now. That's been, I'm assuming, at least 2 decades. There's old Brucey there. You see Alfred's like... I can understand Alfred. He's very much worried about Bruce. And Bruce just going out there, you see he's like dead behind the eyes and everything. Poor Alfred. And you see Bruce going down, shaving. Alfred looking out the window. There's our mafia dude. His children are not enjoying the show. There's Two-Face losing his mind slowly. I mean, he has lost his mind, but you know what I mean. There's that warehouse. Let's see, there's the Teen Titans Tower, Starfire. See him spying on her. I had the 2 henchmen. Yeah, wait, did you see that well? Yeah, the 2 henchmen. There we go. Bruce manages to defeat them. Looking at himself, what were you thinking with? And he's like, he wasn't thinking. See, like Gordon a note. We see Toothface revealed. Yeah, so because he was reacting, not thinking, he didn't realize that. I'll show you. There's old Gordon. His hair's really white here. Starfire. And you see, you see that photo again. And then there's the guy, which I suspect, it might be either Dick Grayson going there, or it's this guy that's looking for him. See? So yeah, the art style is good, the colors are nice. I mean, George Perez's art style is very nice. Very clear. At least you can tell well what's going on. For fuck's sakes with all these bloody sirens. Sirens. Right, where was I? Yeah, good art style Mr. Perez has. Right, on to the story. So as we all know, there are a shit ton of Batman stories. I mean, runs back in the day would go on for like, as you can see, 400 something fucking issues. Of course, it was different stories then. But, I've never heard of this one, Lonely Place of Dying. No one's ever talked about this, but I really liked this. It was really interesting. Seeing Batman not himself after what happened with Jason. His relationship with Dick Grayson not being that good. Although I don't know if that's canon or not. Canon, companies, or publishers, I should say, have tended to retcon a lot of shit over the years, so who knows. But it was interesting to see how Bruce is hopefully now going back to himself and what's gonna continue. Who is this kid? Why is he looking for Dick Grayson? What does he want exactly? It seems like he hadn't known about the circus, but the circus was important to him. So perhaps he is the child from the picture. But again, what does he need Dick Grayson for? Why is he looking for him? Where has Dick Grayson went to? Why did he leave the Teen Titans? Has he left before? Not before. Why has he left? Has he left because of what happened with the circus, or was there a different reason? What will happen? Will all of these people meet? Or will it just be like separate, or I should say 2 stories in one mini-series? There's, again, only 5 parts. But yeah, I'm very interested to find out what happens. I'm gonna try to get the rest of these, because I want to see where this is gonna go. It's very cool so far. I really like the first issue. I hope to get the rest and find out what happens there. Cause, this was good. This was very good. Although the letters, like I said, a bit hard to read in some places. But other than that, good first issue. So that's it. Let me know. Have you read this story? No spoilers, of course. What did you think about it? Did you like it? Do you know about this one? Because, again, haven't heard anyone ever mention it. Perhaps it's just not that big of a story in the Batman lore. I don't know, but I enjoyed it. Alright, folks, so that is it. Now remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!